There are 3.5 million Teslas on the road now. Tesla has a digital twin of each individual car, including every part number, every bolt torque, etc., when that car was assembled. Every day, there are adjustments to battery pack architecture, there are adjustments to battery pack chemistry, and the software that controls and maintains the battery packs and their charging systems. There are changes to safety critical systems like bumper beams and door supports. There are changes to alloys. Now, most car companies will make changes to things like which bolts they use every day. They do that to cope with supply chain changes. They don't make changes to things like the headlight lens material and the software that controls the headlights, as those require certification. Certification for most companies from the government is done every 2 to 3 years for a minor model change and every 5 to 7 years for a major model change, and possibly as fast as every 3 months for internal systems. Tesla re-enters certification every day. This is what I'll call agile. A change doesn't have to wait until the next certification cycle. There's a new certification submittal every day. Is that expensive? Yes. The result is faster product innovation than any of the comparative companies. And the market seems to love it in terms of stock price and in terms of sales growth. On the shop floor, it looks like this. If you had a traditional manufacturing line where parts are flowing through the line and you have a team creating a value-added step to the products on that line, we add what's called a definition of ready test. This can be a human with a clipboard, but ideally it's automated, so it's fast and repeatable. What this test's job is to do is any materials, parts, sub-assemblies, or full assemblies that are coming through are tested to be ready to work by this team. Now, the important part is this test does not check if parts are the same. It can receive different parts. As long as the parts meet the definition of ready, even if they look different, are composed of different materials, even have different shapes, even have different software, what's tested is the functionality and the interfaces. This is essentially an integration test. So it's not, do we have exactly the same part? This is not a variance test. This is an integration test. Can the part coming in here work for my team's value-added steps? Then a small, co-located, cross-functional, agile team completes their value-added steps. And the parts flow to what's called a definition of done test. Again, what's important here is that the definition of done test does not check if these parts are the same. It checks if they meet the definition of ready for the next step, which could be final sale or certification attempt. Now, we install a robotic tool, or at least tape lines on the floor for humans pulling carts, called a router. The router allows one of these kits, one of these parts to be worked, to be branched to another small, co-located, cross-functional, self-organizing, agile manufacturing team. And their job is to do research and development on those parts and attempt to make one part that is superior. Superior is determined by whatever KPIs, key progress indicators, are most important at the time. It might be the part is now lighter, the part is now more rigid, the part costs less, the part has a new piece of software that will be compliant for more years to come, whatever the change is. Now that part, when one test article is ready, that part is tested against the same definition of done. Now it's a different part or a different assembly or even an entirely different car or rocket. That part goes through the same definition of done test. If it passes, that part is sold. So these definition of done tests are proactively, at least once a day, requesting road legal certification for sale. Maybe this part flowing through here is a heat pump, and the new experimental part is a more efficient heat pump, and maybe one test article has been made. The relevant certification tests are requested that day. Now, for just a heat pump, it might be simpler. They might even be able to receive same-day approval. In some cases, it happens. That part is then sold. So on any given day, some Teslas could have an even more efficient heat pump, but every Tesla sold would have at least the minimum advertised specification heat pump. This creates a mix of different parts being sold every day. That means Tesla must track every single car individually with a complete parts load, a complete parts manifest. There are 3.5 million Teslas on the road now. Tesla has a digital twin of each individual car, including every part number, every bolt torque, etc., when that car was assembled.